Inter Miami player ratings versus FC Dallas. Undefeated in MLS no more, Herons collapse at home as Lionel Messi and Barcelona veterans watch from the sidelines. It was a night of deep frustration and disappointment in South Florida, as Inter Miami's undefeated run in the 2025 Major League Soccer season finally came to a screeching halt. The Herons, who had built an aura of invincibility around themselves, fell 2-1 to a determined FC Dallas side at Chase Stadium, and they did it under the watchful eyes of Lionel Messi, Luis Suárez, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Busquets, all of whom were absent from the field but present on the sidelines. In many ways, this match served as a sobering reminder: without their megastars, Inter Miami are just another team. A different atmosphere without the stars. Right from the kickoff, something felt different. The stadium was packed, buzzing with excitement as always, but the energy on the field was noticeably off. With Lionel Messi sidelined due to a minor muscle issue, and the likes of Busquets and Alba rested to preserve their fitness, Miami looked like a team unsure of its own identity. The chemistry that usually defines their play was gone. The elegance of Busquets in midfield, the overlapping menace of Alba on the left flank, the clinical brilliance of Messi and Suárez up front, none of it was there to guide the team. Instead, what fans witnessed was a fragmented Miami side struggling for cohesion, second-guessing their own movements, and eventually succumbing to an opportunistic Dallas outfit. How the match unfolded. FC Dallas didn't need a second invitation to exploit Miami's vulnerability. They pressed high, moved the ball quickly, and disrupted any rhythm Miami tried to create. Their reward came midway through the first half when a defensive lapse allowed them to take the lead. Serhii Krivtsov was caught ball-watching, and Drake Callender could do little to prevent the opening goal. Miami showed brief signs of life after going down, with Leonardo Campana leveling the score early in the second half. However, that hope was fleeting. Dallas regained their advantage after yet another defensive breakdown, and from there, they never looked back. Even as the minutes ticked away and desperation grew, Miami lacked the killer instinct usually provided by Messi and Suárez. The final whistle blew, and with it, Miami's unbeaten record vanished into the night. Player ratings, individual performances. Drake Callender, goalkeeper, 5/10. Faced a difficult night. Made a few smart saves but was powerless on both Dallas goals. His distribution under pressure was also suspect at times. DeAndre Yedlin, right back, 4/10. An experienced campaigner, Yedlin looked a step slow all evening. Struggled both defensively and offensively. His usual overlapping runs were missing, and defensively, he was turned inside out. Serhii Krivtsov, centre-back, 4/10. A night to forget. His marking was poor, and he lacked composure under pressure. Failed to lead the backline effectively without the presence of Busquets shielding in front of him. Tomas Aviles, centre-back, 5/10. Put in a lot of effort but often looked overwhelmed by Dallas's pace and movement. Still young, still learning, but tonight exposed his inexperience. Jordi Alba, left-back, not applicable. Watched from the stands as the team struggled without his presence on the pitch. His creativity and leadership were sorely missed. David Ruiz, central midfield, 6/10. One of the few players who looked genuinely hungry. Put in tackles, tried to drive the ball forward, but couldn't do it alone. Sergio Busquets, central midfield, not applicable. Rested for this match. His absence was glaring, as Miami's midfield lost its rhythm and structure. Julian Gressel, central midfield, 5/10. Delivered a few dangerous balls into the box but couldn't control the midfield. Lost possession too easily under pressure. Robert Taylor, right wing, 5/10. Worked hard but made poor decisions in key moments. Needed more composure and final product. Leonardo Campana, striker, 6/10. Scored a well-taken goal to momentarily restore parity. Fought hard up front but received little quality service throughout the game. Benjamin Kramaskaj, left wing, 4/10. A quiet night. Struggled to impose himself on the game and was substituted early in the second half. Substitutes, Shanida Borgelin, 5/10. Introduced for physical presence but failed to make a meaningful impact. Lawson Sunderland, 5/10. Came in to stabilize the midfield but ended up chasing shadows as Dallas controlled possession. Ryan Saylor, 5/10. Late substitute who did little wrong but had no time to influence proceedings. Manager ratings. Gerardo Tata Martino, 4/10. Martino faced an uphill task without his main stars, but his tactical adjustments fell flat. Miami looked predictable and lacked a clear plan B. Substitutions were too late to turn the tide, and the team never adapted to Dallas' relentless pressing. This defeat raises serious questions about Miami's over-reliance on its Barcelona veterans, a worry that will only grow as the season progresses and injuries, suspensions, or fatigue inevitably take their toll. What went wrong? Without Messi and Suárez leading the line, Miami had no focal point in attack. They struggled to break down Dallas' compact shape and lacked creativity in the final third. Busquets' absence was equally damaging. Without him dictating the tempo, Miami's midfield looked disorganized, frequently bypassed by Dallas' energetic pressing. The defensive setup also came under scrutiny. With Krivtsov and Aviles looking shaky, and no Busquets to screen the back four, Miami conceded 2 soft goals that could have been avoided with better organization and communication. What this loss means for Inter Miami. The loss to FC Dallas is a reality check for Inter Miami and their supporters. It highlights how heavily the team depends on their aging superstars, and how vulnerable they become without them. While Miami still sits near the top of the Eastern Conference standings, this defeat could mark the beginning of a more turbulent stretch. Rotation will be necessary as the season wears on, but performances like this will only increase the pressure on Moutinho to find solutions beyond simply hoping Messi will save them. If Miami wants to truly contend for silverware this year, in MLS and beyond, they must develop greater squad depth and tactical flexibility. Final thoughts: a wake-up call in South Florida. There's no shame in losing, especially when you're missing players of Messi's, Busquets, Alba's, and Suárez's caliber. However, it's the manner of the loss that will concern Miami fans the most. Inter Miami looked lost, disjointed, and too easily rattled. For a team with championship ambitions, that's not acceptable, no matter who is missing. The Herons must learn from this defeat, or risk seeing their promising season spiral away as quickly as their unbeaten streak did on this fateful up next. All eyes are on the injury report. Miami desperately needs their icons back, but just as urgently, they need to rediscover their confidence, identity, and balance. Because as Sunday night showed, star power alone is not enough to sustain success.